Hello there and welcome to lesson 6 in the series to learn programming in Scratch. In this lesson you're going to learn how to use speech bubbles in Scratch to make a tour guide and tourist talk at the big hole in Kimberley. Fleetwood Rawstone discovered the first diamond of the Kimberley mine on 16th of July 1871. When the word spread about the discovery at Kimberley, thousands of prospectors armed with nothing more than picks and shovels flocked to Kimberley. These men subsequently dug the enormous hole by hand at Kimberley. The Kimberley diamond mine occupies a surface of 17 hectares. The hole is 463 meters wide and 240 meters deep. The diamond mine was active from 1871 to 1914. And the mine produced an incredible 2,722 kilograms of diamonds. The buildings around the mine were converted into a museum and tourist attraction. There is a reconstruction of the old town that gives visitors an idea of what it was to live in Kimberley during the late 1800s. Visitors can go underground in an old mine shaft and learn more about the history of diamond mining in Kimberley. An exhibition of historical souvenirs and diamonds is also available at the museum. Now answer the questions on this topic in your workbook. In this lesson, we will use speech bubbles, like in comic strips, to let the sprite say something. We will use the say for 2 seconds block from the looks group. This purple block from the looks group displays the words in the first placeholder in a speech bubble for the number of seconds indicated in the second placeholder. You can type any words in the opening to make it appear in the speech bubble and change the number of seconds for the message to show for a longer or shorter period. For example, if I let the cat say, "I'm glad you're here," when you click the green flag, the speech bubble will appear and disappear after 2 seconds. The Switch Backdrop to block makes it possible to display another backdrop at a specific time in the program, just like on television when one scene might be inside the house and the next one outside. This purple block from the looks group changes the stage background to the specific one from the drop-down list you've already loaded. You must choose the background pictures beforehand so that it will appear in the drop-down list. We've used backdrops that are already available in Scratch before. Click the background button and then select the background you want to use in the program. You can also use pictures from the internet as backgrounds. Find a suitable picture using your internet web browser. Then right-click the picture and select Save Image As. Save the picture in a location where you will find it easily. In Scratch, select Choose a Backdrop and then select the top option, Upload Backdrop. Then select the picture you saved before. If the picture does not cover the entire background, select the image and stretch it by dragging the corner handle so that it's big enough to fill the stage. Then name the backdrop to make it easily identifiable. To make a title background with text, make a large rectangle to change the background color or use a background image you've imported before. You can change the color of the font by changing the fill color, and you can change the font at the top. To change the size of the text, drag the box with text at the corner. In a conversation between two people, both of them must wait for the other person to finish talking before they answer. Just like when two people are using a two-way radio and let the other person know when they finish by saying, "Over." The orange broadcast block and the orange when I receive block in the events group are used together to make a conversation in Scratch work. Once a sprite has finished speaking, he broadcasts a message, and when the other sprite receives this message, the other sprite responds with the code of his when I receive block. This broadcast block does not display a message, but sends a message to the other sprite so that they can respond using their when I receive blocks. This yellow block will perform all the blocks linked to this block once another sprite has sent this message. For example, Abby speaks first and sends message 1. When Avery receives message 1, she responds and sends message 2 to indicate that she is finished speaking. Notice the picture of Avery in the top right corner to indicate that this code was written for this sprite. When Abby receives message 2, she responds and sends message 3. When Avery receives message 3, she responds and sends message 4. And when the stage receives message 4, change the background. For today's challenge, create an animation program in Scratch with 2 characters, a tour guide and a tourist who wants to know more about the mine. Save the program as mine. Write code to use 4 different backdrops, one with a title, one with a big hole, one with a museum, and one with a credits slide, showing your name, for example, like this video was done by Joe Smith. Code the change of the backdrops and a conversation between the characters that highlights interesting facts about the mine by using broadcast messages. Each character must speak at least twice. Save all the changes once you're done. Here is an example of what your program might look like. As always, use the design cycle again to tackle this challenge. First, ask questions for clarity, and then brainstorm ideas. You can use the facts that you've learned about the mine today in a conversation between the characters, or you can research your own facts. Start with all the new blocks that were introduced today. Your solution will probably use all these blocks. Draw the design for the background and the position of the sprites and label the sprites in your workbook. Complete the algorithms in your workbook, indicating clearly what each sprite will say and broadcast. Then write your program and use this rubric to check that your program meets the criteria. Finally, use Eduardo de Bono's 6 thinking hats again to reflect on this lesson. In the next lesson, you're going to code echoes in the Kango caves. Until then, goodbye.